The following is a community affairs presentation from the Ulster County Health Department. This is the Healthy Ulster Radio Show, a weekly presentation exploring community health and sustainability with guests representing a broad spectrum of community partners working to make Ulster County the healthiest in New York State. This program is sponsored by the Health Alliance of the Hudson Valley in Kingston, a member of the WMC Health Network.
Good morning. You are listening to Healthy Ulster Radio. I am your host, Dr. Carol Smith, Commissioner of Health and Mental Health for Ulster County. With me this morning is my co-host, Vin Martello, our Director of Community Health Relations. Good morning, Vin.
Good morning, Dr. Smith. How are you today?
I'm fine, thanks.
Dr. Smith, today we have two really important and wonderful community organizations that serve the full age spectrum of needs, from children with disabilities all the way through to the elder population who are in need of home care. And the two organizations are Always There Home Care and the ARC of Ulster Green. And our guests are Susan Copenhaver, who is CEO of Always There Home Care. Susan is also a licensed nursing home administrator. She's run 3 Hudson Valley nursing homes in her career. She's managed 4 federally qualified healthcare clinics. She has a master's in public health from Columbia University and a whole lot of community experience in terms of being really there in the community, doing a lot of really good work.
Great partner in our community.
Yeah, wonderful. And we also have with us John McHugh, who's Executive Director of the ARC of Ulster Green. He has 25 years of experience in the field of disability services and finance. He joined in early 2008 as Chief Financial Officer, and then he was appointed Executive Director by the Board of Directors in 2013. And it says here, it talks about John's connection with ARC as a teenager, but we're going to let him tell us about that.
Absolutely.
So, Susan, first, let's get started with you. Would you like to give our listeners a brief overview of Always There Home Care, including the folks that you serve, what their needs are, and the
Absolutely,
services you provide?
Vin. Thanks for letting us do this today. I think it's really important for everybody to get some detail. Home care is just that, home care at home. We have, in New York State, there's certified and licensed agencies. We have both. Certified takes care of folks who sort of need more skilled services, people who just got out of the hospital, people who've just been discharged from a nursing home. They might need more rehab. They might need a nurse at home. They may have wounds. They may have other skilled services that somebody just coming in and helping you take a shower wouldn't be able to care for. Folks like that need doctor's orders, and the doctors refer to us, the hospitals refer to us, the skilled nursing facilities, a lot of them are our partners. We try to work very closely with all of them. And been in business since 1970, and started out as a place that was in a basement of the YWCA, I believe, as a part-time homemaker service, and then grew and grew and grew, and that's where we are today. And we take most insurances. Medicare pays for some services. Medicaid pays for some services. A lot of commercial insurances pay for that. And we are the only not-for-profit home care agency in the county. And I'm not sure about the other counties. There are a couple over in Dutchess I'm aware of, but there are not too many of us around that serve folks not-for-profit. So we can get grants. We have a lot of grants. We also have an adult day program, which is actually one of the grant recipients that we have, that takes care of folks during the day, seniors who, actually anybody over 55 who needs supervision during the day. We have a 8:30 to 4:30 program right on our site. So that's a great boon to a lot of families.
Absolutely.
And where Ulster. Are you located exactly?
Right down the street, 918 Ulster Avenue. And the ADP is also there as well. We provide transportation there. We have a lot of great donors who have supported that program, most notably the United Way of Ulster County and the Dyson Foundation, the New York State Office for Aging. So they all support us financially to make sure that program continues.
And John, can you do the same for the ARC of Ulster Green? How did your organization get started? What was the identified need, and what services do you provide?
Sure, absolutely. Our organization was actually started 61 years ago. Last year we celebrated our 60th anniversary. 1956, a group of parents got together to form the ARC of Ulster Green, otherwise or formerly known as Ulster Green ARC, because they had children with disabilities and they needed services, and there were none to be found. And this was happening all across the state. So the ARC of Ulster Green is one of 47 chapters across New York State, and actually one of hundreds of chapters across the country, in a network of supports for people with developmental disabilities. We support over 1,300 people in both Ulster and Greene counties. We employ over 1,200. And we provide services primarily in residential homes. So we have 40 group homes, if you will, spattered across Ulster and Greene County. We have apartment programs. We do in-home services, community hub services, and provide supports in the natural home. So we're pretty have a wide breadth of supports. We have a day hub program. Probably about 400, 500 people attend that every day, 5 days a week. And we have a school to work program, which also supports young adults who are transitioning out of high school, who have a disability, who are looking for employment or the next stage in their life. And of course, I can't forget about the Brookside School in Cottikill. We have a preschool and school age program, supports about 80 children there, and some with developmental disabilities and some without. So we're a pretty dynamic organization. We try to do a lot of different things and find opportunities for people, find out what they want, and then see if we can help them reach their goals.
Mm-hmm. Is that time when a child transitions from high school into the work world, is that particularly difficult or challenging for most of them?
It is, because obviously, it's a very important time in their lives. Some of them see their friends going off to college, and maybe they're not going to college right away. They have dreams and aspirations just like all of us do, but they just need a little extra help to realize those dreams, and that's where we come in, and we try to help them. We provide training programs. We actually started a couple of businesses, one of them being the Blackboard Bistro out of in Cottikill, where mostly it's young adults that were working there who are interested in learning about a career in the culinary field, have an opportunity to work at the Blackboard Bistro. It's open to the public Monday through Friday, 9 to 2. And they learn all the different skill sets, how to operate in a kitchen, how to work the register, doing the cleanup and things like that. And the hope is that they'll get that experience and then find opportunities out in the community at local restaurants or such.
And that's in the Roundup Municipal Center, where the former Rosendale Elementary School, which is now also the town hall, combined town halls. Correct. For Rosendale and Marbletown. Is that right?
Yes, and it's a great example of collaboration in the community really pulling together. As you know, that building, that school, was repurposed a number of years ago, and so the town of Rosendale and the town of Marbletown now have their offices there. We are also partners in that building, where we have our, as I mentioned, the Blackboard Bistro, but we also have a day hab program. We have our school to work program, and we have our training program for our 1,200 plus staff who get a lot of training for the work that they do. So it's really been a win-win for everybody.
Now, in working with the kids throughout your programs, do you also have programs where you integrate the families into the work that you do, so you can help the families be more resilient and more informed about
right? And that's where our community hab program really comes into play. I was talking to a mother a couple of months ago, and she found out that I worked at the ARC of Ulster Green, and she has a young boy with autism, and her son received supports through our community hab, and she said to me, "Thank God for you. Thank God for the ARC of Ulster Green, because it's so stressful as a parent when you are supporting a child with autism you're learning how to support this child on your own, and you're out in the community, and sometimes you just need a break, and that's really all she needed. She just needed a break to go and do whatever she had to do. And she said, without having that break, she said, I don't know what I would do. So we do try to assist families in that manner. We talk about strategies and how we may support the person and how they may play a role in that. So it's definitely a collaborative effort.
One of the things I've always been curious about in talking to people on this program, and just in general in life, people who are in different professions, is what inspired you to go into this field? Whether it's through personal experience or just a passion for. Maybe you guys can talk about with John. Maybe
sure, I can. I actually have a family member with a disability. My brother has Down syndrome. Mm-hmm. I think, although that is certainly part of the reason why I chose this career, I think really the other thing that really motivates me is the work that we do and the fact that every day we can make a difference in someone's life. And I think there's, when you have that opportunity to do that, that's something special. And I really take that to heart. And I love the people that work at our organization. They're passionate. And of course, the people that we're supporting and seeing them realize their dreams. I could go on and on, but it is very, very gratifying.
Yeah, doing meaningful work is certainly one of the keys, I think, to a successful life. And Susan, what about you? How did you?
Well, I've always been interested in medicine in general. I've always found it really interesting, but I went to school to get a public health degree because I felt that trying to do something for the community in general, whether it be education or setting up programs or collaborations, would help a great numbers of people. And all of the things that I've been involved with here, especially in Ulster County, it's a very collaborative county. I have to say there's a lot of people supporting other people. It's pretty unusual, I think. And it's great. It's really very heartening. And I will echo John's sentiments about, the wonderful people that you meet in what we do. And also that I think that helping these folks is probably one of the most gratifying things I can do spiritually and personally, just in general myself. I think there's probably nothing better than helping your fellow man in whatever way you can. And by doing the work that we do, we have wonderful staff. We have, you had mentioned how many folks work there. We have about 180 people, about 80 of which, maybe 90 of which are aides and nurses and PTs and the office staff. They're all very geared toward this mission that we have to help other people, get them back on their feet, make sure their life is, as unencumbered as possible.
Right. I think that's what inspires us in public service as
well.
Is really making a difference. It's one of the key components. And we'd like to learn a lot more about both of these programs, but we're going to take a short break first. You're listening to Healthy Ulster Radio. We'll be back after these messages.
Thanks, Vin.
The excitement continues to build. The mission of Health Alliance is now made even stronger by our new partnership with the Westchester Medical Center Health Network. By combining a legacy of community-based care with WMC Health, we are building a stronger, healthier, and more vibrant community. We'll be collaborating to provide preventive, primary, specialty, and advanced care right here where you live, where we all live. Health Alliance and WMC Health, advancing care here. Visit hahv.org to learn more.
Welcome back. You are listening to Healthy Ulster Radio. Our special guests today are John McHugh, Executive Director of the ARC of Ulster Green, and Susan Copenhaver, the CEO of Always There Home Care. So could you tell us, we were listening to some wonderful information about your agencies. Maybe you'd like to relate a story that, one of your success stories or something in particular that touched you in the course of your work?
Sure, I would love to. Yes, as I was saying, one of the reasons why I chose this career was because of the effect that you can have on someone's life. And I'll give you an example. About 2 years ago, we were working with a young man who had a dream of owning his own home. We had provided supports for him through our community HUR program. And we worked with him, and we worked with the Ulster Savings Bank and their Home of Your Own program. He participated in that for almost 2 years. And in 2014, I'm happy to report that he purchased his very own home. And the thing that he was most proud of was that he could invite his mom up to see the home that he was able to purchase.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
It was a great moment. We celebrated it, and he's actually very proud of it. If you go to our website, thearcofug.org, if you click on David's video, you can see the story. It's about a 5-minute video, and it tells you the entire story. It's really heartwarming.
That's wonderful. And how about you, Susan?
I don't really have a specific story other than to tell you that, people will tell you when you've done a great job or when you've done what they consider a terrible job. So I get, our consumer evals back, and most of them are very positive. In fact, our medical director was questioning me about that the other day. Why are they so positive? Well, because people like us and we have great staff. But I would say that an overall success story is through our adult day program, where the staff has learned how to deal with the different idiosyncrasies of the patients, who many of whom have dementia, some of whom have TBI, some of whom are fine but are physically disabled. But the whole point of that program is to keep folks out of institutions and keep them in their own home and allow their families to continue working. So if I've got 30 participants in there, that means I've got 30 families who can still continue working in the community, people who can keep their jobs, they have their kids at home, and they have this sense of peace of mind that their folks are okay during the day and they don't have to worry about them.
And that's huge, especially as more and more of us become caretakers for our older parents and what have you, and yet maintain your own family needs, we're working, etc. So having those resources available, it's just huge to the community.
And we know that you do a lot of work with the Ulster County Office for the Aging. Can you tell us a little bit about that interaction?
Very briefly, I'm on the advisory board of both Dutchess and Ulster, to kind of keep tabs on what's going on there. On the disaster recovery and resource committee in both sides of the river. I'm on a couple of other boards that are health related, so pretty busy running around to a lot of different meetings and trying to keep the collaboration and come up with different ideas. As I said, this county is very collaborative. We just went through a drill this morning, which was educational, definitely. So the Office for the Aging here is great. They're very creative, and they've been helpful to us. They actually have a couple grants with us as well.
Right. We know that, one of the things that we always struggle with is not the shortage of wonderful organizations doing good work, but the wealth of organizations doing good work. And how do we connect the dots between all of those organizations and really identify synergies and identify duplications and find out where we could perhaps, pursue common funding streams and part of really Healthy Ulster Radio and what we have the Healthy Ulster Council, which the purpose of it is to enhance an awareness throughout the community that it's not any one organization, and especially not government, that can do it alone. That if you're working to create a healthier community, it really takes everybody's participation and engagement and playing a part in that. That's why it's so very important. Now, as you look forward, maybe you can talk to us a little bit in your respective organizations about, maybe some exciting new plans that you have, but where you identify maybe areas of opportunity and what particular challenges you might be facing going forward.
Well, I think right now in home care is pretty challenging. We've gotten a lot of people talk about unfunded mandates. We're dealing with that on a regular basis. A lot of competition. I try to be politically active as much as possible through our Home Care Association of the state of New York, who are very articulate about our challenges. I would say that, we're competing against a lot of different organizations who can pay people what we can pay them, and they don't have to do the kind of work that we have them do. So that's our biggest challenge, I think. I would love to tell you that I have got some great plans, but right now it's a bit of a struggle for us. I hoped it will get better in the near future. I think, like I said, we have a great staff, and we have some wonderful people who've been there a long time who love what they do, and I think that's, more than half the battle.
I think Susan and I probably share similar challenges, especially in regards to funding and staffing. So our funding is predominantly through Medicaid. That's how we get the funding for our programs. Obviously, we're very concerned about the environment in Washington, D.C. In fact, we met with Congressman Faso last week to express to him our concerns about some of the things that we're hearing, because we are so reliant on Medicaid funding, and we have seen a decline in that funding, in the sense that it hasn't kept up with the costs. And Susan pointed out, getting staff is challenging. The work that we do is very rewarding, but it's also difficult. You're working with human beings who are unpredictable. But I believe it's the best job. It's not for everyone. But some people are very passionate, and fortunately we have those people in our community. But it is a challenge. You were talking a moment ago about collaboration. If I could just share a quick story about how we collaborated with our neighbors up north at Greene County. It's the Arc of Ulster Green. Greene County was looking for a transit system. They didn't have a public transportation system. What they had was 5 different routes that ran one day a week, one day to Catskill, one day to Hunter, etc. We, as I mentioned, operate day hab programs, and we transport people all over the county, both Ulster and Greene County. They came to us and asked if we would be interested in collaborating and creating a public transportation for Greene County. We said, yeah, why not? Makes sense. We're already driving around. Why recreate the wheel? So we sat down with Greene County and the Department of Transportation, and last year we started our Greene County Transit operation, June 1st. We have 7 routes that run 5 days a week, and we transport not only people we support, but the general public to be able to go shopping or go to work. So that was an example I wanted to share as a real win-win, again, of how we collaborated with a government entity.
Yeah, that's really terrific. I mean, when you think about Ulster County, which is geographically the size of Rhode Island, right? It's huge, and transportation is definitely an issue. To seek medical care or other services, to go shopping, what have you. Now, do you use volunteers, or do you have interns? And if you do, how do people get involved if they're interested?
Well, we do have interns, and we do look for volunteers. The best way for someone who's interested in volunteering is to go to our website at thearcug.org and just click on Human Resources, and you'll get the contact information. We offer, as I said earlier, we're a pretty big organization. We do a lot of different things. We've had interns for our IT department, our accounting department. We've had interns in our residential program, people who are looking to go into social work. We have a clinic that has opportunities there. So we have a wide array of different opportunities for people who are exploring a career, may want to, not sure if that's something they want to do for the rest of their life. Maybe spend the summer and try it out. So we do welcome them.
And Susan, what about
we have a slightly, I'll echo again what John said about challenges in staffing, but in home care, we sort of almost require that the clinicians, those being the nurses and the therapists, be fairly well established in their career to be able to be as independent as we expect them to be as case managers. So we don't typically take brand new nurses and PTs to go out in the field. We do train aides. We give aides, folks who want to be an aide, an opportunity for basically a full-time job. So that's sort of a career step toward nursing if they wish. We do take volunteers on our adult day program. We have had some in the past who have offered musical talents or come in and read to the folks, come in and do something for them, art projects. They love it. They love to see different faces. They get tired of seeing us all day long. And it's a great opportunity for people, even high school kids, to come in. We had actually the Bruderhof come in a couple months ago when they had some volunteers.
Great
and they came in. Yeah, I know.
They're
it's
wonderful.
Great. Yep.
And what is your web address if people want more information?
It's alwaystherehomecare.org. Mm-hmm. again, you would, if you'd like to volunteer or work for us, you just call HR, just like John's, and they'll hook you right up.
That sounds really terrific. Well, thank you first of all, for all of the great work that you do out there. We know it's not easy.
So important to our community, really. Appreciate what you do.
Service to others is really a very high calling, and we really appreciate all the work that you and your staff do out there. And that's about all the time we have today. The time flies when you're
Having
talking
fun.
to great people.
Do you have anything else you want to say?
Well, one I just want to mention too, I not to forget about them, but Brookside School is another place where, if you want to volunteer, we've had teacher aides come in just to work.
Oh, great!
And a few of them have stayed on, and are now teachers at the Brookside School. So there's another example of
great opportunity
down
there.
in Cottage Hill.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate your being here. And you're listening to Healthy Ulster Radio. Tune in next week for more great information that you can use to keep yourself, your family, and your community healthy and strong. See you next week. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Healthy Ulster Radio Show, a community affairs presentation from the Ulster County Health Department, sponsored by Health Alliance of the Hudson Valley in Kingston, a member of the WMC Health Network. Thanks for listening, and be sure to join us for another edition of the Healthy Ulster Radio Show next week.